Welcome to All Things Retreat Podcast. I'm Holly Porter, your host and CEO of Retreat R&R. With over 25 years of experience in designing transformative retreats, I'm here to share insights and inspiration to help you create extraordinary experiences. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, you'll find valuable ideas here. Enjoy the ride. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show today. We're excited that you're here again joining us. And can you believe the podcast has almost been here for a year? So we are getting it coming right up to December 31st, 2024. We actually launched on the last day of the year. And here we are in December now when I'm recording this. And I'm just really excited. If it's your first time, then welcome. And if you've been joining us or you've caught a few of them, great. I'd like to ask you though, would you go subscribe? I've been wanting to build YouTube because we do video and audio. So if you're listening to this on another platform, you can't see us, but you can see us over on YouTube under All Things Retreat. And I would love for you to come and subscribe to us. And you can also leave messages there, which we also love to get from our listeners and know what kind of shows you're liking and what you're not liking so that we can always provide you value, because that matters to me. And today is a little bit different. I don't have a guest because I wanted to share something really special. Today's episode is really a little bit different. I want you to take you behind the scenes of my book. So I launched Near Death Shift. I hope that is, if your video, that you can see it, read it, and it's not backwards. But Near Death Shift, what dying taught me about life, business, and purpose. And in the beginning of the show, I think I shared my story, but I haven't really said too much about it off and on throughout the year. But just to give you a little bit of it, I usually interview retreat leaders and venue owners and change makers in the retreat industry, just things that bring, I hope, things that you can move your retreat business forward and learn from. But I've not really shared my own journey in a long time. So it feels like the perfect moment to bring you back where all of this started. So a few years ago, my life changed in a way that I never would have prepared for. Hopefully nobody would prepare for. I spent 70 days in the hospital and had the Delta version wave of COVID. And I know so many people suffered during COVID. I'm not unusual in that fact, but 70 days was a little unusual that I actually walked out of there. I had 2 intubations. So I was on a ventilator for about 52 days, twice there, and then the tracheostomy that I had to finish that off. And my family was told many times that I might not survive. My body shut down in so many ways that I have a hard time describing to you. But during this time, something extraordinary was happening behind the scenes of the physical world. I had a profound near-death experience, and I had some other spiritual experiences that opened my understanding of life, purpose, and all about healing. What I saw, what I felt, the messages I received, all of it changed the entire course of my life the moment that I returned. So I was shown a different perspective of who we are. I was shown the impact of our choices, our words, and even our energy. I was given specific guidance about my future and how I was meant to show up in the world from there on forward. And when I came home, none of that left me. It really shaped my healing. It shaped my mission, and it shaped my voice in more ways than one. I used to could sing, and now somehow my singing voice has been robbed. So there you go. Anyway, Near Death Shift is not a book about dying. It's a book about awakening. It's a book about receiving a second chance and realizing that life is something to get through. It's something to participate in fully and intentionally. And the SHIFT framework came directly from that journey. SHIFT stands for surrender, hope, intuition, faith, and transformation. These were not concepts I came up with because they sounded inspirational. These were the 5 steps that helped me navigate my return to life. They were the pillars that helped me rebuild my body, my mind, my business, and my purpose. Before that, I couldn't really tell you what my purpose was. My why was my family, my children, my grandchildren. Yes, people I love. but to really have a calling and know you have a purpose felt new to me. And I love that. That was the best part I got out of all of this. So here's the beautiful part. You don't have to have a near death experience or a spiritual experience to shift your life. We all reach a moment where something inside us whispers that it's time for a change, time to stop pushing, time to stop pretending everything is fine when it's not, time to stop carrying what's not ours, time to rise. As we head into a new year, this is a perfect time to talk about shift. This episode is your invitation to step into the next version of yourself. So take a breath, settle in, and let's begin. Surrender is the S. Surrender is the doorway to every meaningful shift. It's not giving up, it's giving over. It's releasing the grip that you have on things that are draining you or defining you. It's letting go of the belief that you must fight every battle with brute force. Most shifts begin with one realization: I cannot keep doing it this way. For me, surrender came in a hospital bed when my body could no longer keep going. But surrender doesn't have to look traumatic. It can happen in the quietest moments. It can happen standing at the sink, washing the dishes. It can happen during a walk when something inside of you finally whispers, enough. It can happen when your heart knows a chapter is ending before your mind wants to admit it. Surrender creates space. It creates clarity. It creates permission to choose differently. The moment you surrender, the shift begins. H is for hope. Hope is the spark that keeps us moving forward. Hope is not wishing. Hope is direction. Hope says that there's something ahead of me worth moving towards. In the hospital, hope was sometimes a single thread, a breath, a moment, a whisper. But it was enough. Even the smallest amount of hope can pull you to the next stop. You do not need a 5-year plan. You do not need everything figured out. You only need a spark. Hope that you can rebuild, hope that you can heal, hope that you can shift into a version of yourself that feels more true, more grounded, and more alive. Hope lights the path before you even take the step. I is for intuition. Intuition is your internal compass. It's your inner knowing. It's that voice within you that sees around corners long before you do. During and after my near-death experience, my intuition became louder and clearer than ever. But you do not need a crisis or an out-of-body experience to hear yours. Intuition gets stronger when life gets quiet. Intuition gets stronger when life gets quiet. How about that? This is why retreats are so transformative. They pull you out of the noise and into the knowing. Your intuition shows up through sensation, through a feeling in your chest, through a nudge, through a moment of clarity that arrives without explanation. Ask yourself, what feels aligned? What opens my body rather than tightens it? Where am I being guided? Your intuition will take you places strategy never could. F is for faith. Faith is choosing to believe before you see the evidence. Faith is trusting that the invisible is working on your behalf. Faith is stepping even when the path is unclear. When I came out of the coma, my life was unrecognizable. I could not walk. I could not swallow. I could not breathe without support. I had to relearn basic functions. And there was no guarantee how far my recovery would go. Faith became my anchor. Faith carried me through moments where nothing made sense. Faith held the vision for my future when I was too weak to hold it myself. As you shift into the new year, faith will be what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Faith is not blind optimism. Faith is courageous trust. T is for transformation. Transformation is the natural result of everything that comes before it. Surrender clears the space. Hope ignites the direction. Intuition gives guidance. Faith gives momentum. Transformation is the moment that you look back and realize you are not the same person that you were before. It's not always a dramatic moment. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's a daily choice that builds quietly into the new reality. Transformation is choosing a new story for yourself, choosing new boundaries, choosing new beliefs, choosing a new level of alignment. Transformation is becoming. And here's the truth. You don't have to force transformation. You allow it. Let me say that again. You don't have to force transformation. You allow it. My book, Near Death Shift, right here. This was a blood, sweat, and tears project, I tell you. And I'm so proud of the way it turned out. I can remember when my editor would give me edits back, and it's built in two parts. The beginning is my story and a lot of my history leading up to where all of this happened and then what happened. And part two is the lessons that I learned from that and how I learned to shift everything and get out of that based on some life experiences. And I hope that maybe if it speaks to you, that you'll go grab your copy, neardeathshift.com. You can pick how you want to order yours. And I hope it will help you and let you have your own shifts and learn how these things that we just talked about can help you in your life. And I just hope that there were so many miracles in my story that if you're a non-believer in miracles, they happen all the time. They happen every day all around us. I think I had 11 in my book, and there were some twofers in there, you'll see. But just every day there's things happening that are just unbelievable. And we just need to have that faith that we are going to have some sort of a transformation, whether it's good or bad. It gets to be up to you. We all get faced with adversity. We all get our own challenges, and it's how we handle it in our hearts and our minds and our lives as to how the end result will be, because the result is really up to us of how we react and how we respond to challenges that are happening in our lives. We all have them. Nobody escapes it. I've noticed I spent last week with some classmates. I'm having my 40th class reunion this summer, and can't believe it. But as we're there, it's like how much more friendships matter now. I still talk to a whole handful. We go out probably every 3 months with a whole group of my high school friends, and after 40 years. And that's special. That's true friendship. Those are true relationships. And we were saying how we all have been through challenges at this point in our life, and everybody gets what they can handle, even though we feel like sometimes, wait, what? What do you mean we get what we can handle? But somehow we seem to pull through, and maybe not as shiny as we'd like to have pulled through, but in the end, it ends up being our lessons, and it ends up being ways that we can get hope in different ways. And I just want to say, the book is not really about what happened to me. It's a book of what can happen for all of us when we choose to shift, when we choose to make that choice, move forward, and make a different choice. Maybe I tend to have in my book, I talk a lot about that in threes. It seems like I had to make mistakes 3 times, and that I want to be smarter. I don't want to have to go through lessons 3 times before I figure it out. Surrender again stands for surrender, or a shift stands for surrender, hope, intuition, faith, and transformation. This is your roadmap for this year coming ahead, and it's your guide for the next version of you. This is your moment to shift. Thanks for joining me today on All Things Retreat. If you want more conversations like this, or you want to go deeper into your own shift, make sure that you're following the show and stay tuned for everything coming this year. I'm so excited that you found this channel. wherever, whatever channel option that you picked. I'm just glad that you are here. And I hope that I have said something today that maybe could put a shift into your new year. And I wish you all the best coming up of 2026. May you surrender what's heavy. May you hold on to hope. May you trust your intuition. May you walk in your faith. And may you allow yourself to transform into who you are meant to be. Thanks for listening. Bye for now. Thanks for joining us on this episode of All Things Retreat. We hope you're leaving with new ideas, fresh inspiration, and the motivation to take your retreats to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps us grow and reach more retreat leaders like you. And if you have any questions, topics you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hello, send us an email at info@weretreatrnr.com. Follow us on social media to stay connected and catch all the latest updates. Until next time, remember, great retreats start with great intentions. Let's make them extraordinary, one step at a time. Thinking about hosting a retreat? Before you dive in, let's make sure you're really ready. Grab your free Are You Retreat Ready checklist and find out if you've got everything in place, from your purpose and pricing to your audience and agenda. Don't guess, get clear. This quick checklist will show you exactly where you stand and what you need to make your retreat a success. Click the link below in the show notes to grab your gift and take the first step toward hosting with confidence.